Whether you are just thinking about studying medicine, you've just got an offer, or you are about to start your first year, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my insights about the things that you need to know before starting med school. Hi, my name's Matt. I'm a first year med student here at the University of Manchester, and I post weekly videos to this channel all about my journey through med school, doing and balancing the things that I love, such as travel, fitness, and everything in between. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and also hit the bell notification so you get notified every time I post new content. So, having studied medicine now for 6 months here in Manchester, I am now in a better position to give you guys my insight and my knowledge in order to better prepare you for your transition into med school. The preconceptions that I had prior to starting the course have definitely changed, and the purpose of this video is for me to really share that with you. I want you guys to get the best possible experience and impression possible, and I really feel like by following these 10 steps, you will have the best possible time. So without further ado, let's crack on with these top 10 things that I think you should definitely be aware of before starting medicine. Now, the first thing on that list is make an effort with other students. They are going to be one of the most invaluable resources for you to learn about different topics, different processes, different scientific, physiological concepts that maybe you don't necessarily understand, because when a professor or someone that's really experienced teaches you in a lecture, that might not translate too well in your mind. So it's always helpful to hear from another student in the way that they understand it, and for them to explain it to you in a way that you might better understand. It's also a great way of learning because you're practicing the active recall method of learning. Now, active recall is a really effective way of learning stuff, and it's basically about recalling bits of information from your memory, and by doing that, it will help you better consolidate your knowledge. But also not just that. Outside of university, it's also a great way to find out how other people are managing being independent. That transition from being at college or being at sixth form to living on your own in a completely new city, you know, it's quite a daunting one. And by making an effort with other students, you're gonna find out what works for them, and obviously you're gonna make friends in the process. So honestly, I cannot stress that enough. Make an effort with other students. Number 2, do not overwhelm yourself. So many people go into medicine feeling totally overwhelmed with not just the sheer quantity of scientific content that we've got to get through, but also the diversity of things that we do on this course, from lab work, dissections, face-to-face consultation skills, PBL, presentations, GP placements. There are so many different things that make up this course. And it's really important to understand that first year is about enjoying yourself. It's about becoming familiar with the structure of the course, figuring out how to learn, right? Rather than prioritizing learning everything. That is impossible while studying medicine, okay? You cannot learn everything. It's about working smart. So my big tip for you is to focus on how to learn rather than learning everything. Now also, the university know that it is such a big step up, and they account for that in the sense that year 1 and year 2 don't really count much towards your final degree. The maximum number of things that you can get from years 1 and 2 that are gonna benefit your entire degree are these things called honours points. I'm not sure how it works at your university, but here at the University of Manchester, in year 1 and 2, the maximum that you can get is 4 honours points. And essentially, out of 10 to 20 different assessments I believe that we have across the years 1 and 2, you can get a maximum of these 4 honours points. So I'm not saying do not try and do the absolute best that you can. Definitely do that, but do also be aware that it is not the be-all and end-all if you don't perform too well in your year 1 exams or your year 2 exams. Now, the reason that I say this is I actually had a conversation with one of the 4th years, and she told me that a lot of the pupils that, you know, really focused in years 1 and 2 to smash it as much as they possibly could, they actually burn out in years 3 to 4 because it's just really not feasible to maintain those 6-7 days a week of just non-stop revision over the course of 5 years, because the way that this course is run is that it gets progressively harder. So if you're just overwhelming yourself in years 1 and 2, Wait until you hit third year. It's only going to get more difficult and more stressful. So ease your way into things, find a good balance in year 1. Do not overwhelm yourself, because years 3 to 4 and 5, those are the years that really, really count. And if you overwhelm yourself too much, you're gonna end up burning yourself out. Next on that list, look, if you're an undergraduate, make an effort with the graduates. That transition into university is really quite a big step up. But being a graduate, we've already done that, right? And the chances are, if you're studying medicine, a good 10 to 25% of the people on your course will actually be graduates, and they can give you a lot of insight, a lot of the benefit of their experience about what worked, what didn't work, and how best to manage that transition. And the other thing is that I think there's a common misconception between undergraduates that graduates, we just want to stick with each other, we just stay with the other graduates, and we don't necessarily want to integrate. That is not the case at all. It doesn't work like that. We are so open to make an effort with you guys, but we just want to see that reciprocated. There's a really, really great quote from one of my favorite books by Jordan Peterson, and he says, speak to everyone like they know something that you don't. And I honestly live my life by this premise. Every time I speak to someone, I've got a completely open mind about what insight that they might have that I might not necessarily have. Become a sponge, learn from them, figure out what works for them, and how you can potentially translate that into your life to make your journey here at med school a lot easier. Number 4 on that list is join societies, but not too many. It is so important while studying medicine to have a really good work-life balance at university. It is so important to not only meet other people and socialize in order to get the best out of your university experience, but also to exercise. The caveat to that is, while you're studying medicine, it is very, very intensive. There's a lot of work to get through, and it's not necessarily going to mean that you can join so many societies. My personal piece of advice would be to actually find a sporting society. Find a sport that you absolutely love and commit to that, because by doing that, you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You're not just getting the social aspect of things, but also you're getting the opportunity to exercise. When you're studying medicine, a huge proportion of it will be spent sedentary. You'll be sat down in the library at home studying, and you'll also be alone a lot of the time. I believe by doing a sport, you're not only socializing with others, but you're also getting a good workout in, which is gonna do wonders not only for your physical health, but also for your mental health. Next on that list, number 5, network with your tutors and other staff on the course. Don't just think that because they're your lecturer or they're your teacher almost, that you have to view them as the subordinate to them. That's really not what university is like, right? At college, you definitely have that sort of dynamic between the teachers where you're very subservient, you're the subordinate to them, and it's just quite an unhealthy relationship. But that is not what university is about. It's a more collaborative environment between the lecturers, between the tutors. Everybody wants to help one another. So if you actively make an effort with your tutors, with some of your lecturers, send them an email, meet with them outside of university, this is a really great opportunity to potentially pick their brains, to learn about different aspects of the course, to learn about some tips that they might have that they didn't necessarily have the opportunity to share within the lecture that they gave. A lot of them are physicians, a lot of them are doctors, some of them are consultants. We're getting taught by these people that are in the position that you want to be in one day. And this is a really, really important thing to do and a really good habit to get into throughout this course. Those 5 years are going to fly. I did an undergraduate degree. Those 3 years, they flew by, and I met some incredible people, professors, people at the top of their game. And to be honest, I didn't make enough opportunities for myself and meet enough people to build relationships. So one real big piece of advice would be to talk to your tutors, meet with them outside of the course, build a personal relationship. Chances are they're doctors, if they're physicians, you're gonna bump into them in the future. And by having built a good relationship with them whilst you were at university, that's gonna bring you a lot of benefit in the long run. Next on the list, build a healthy relationship with your work. Medicine is a long game. This is not something that you should be viewing as an inconvenience. you shouldn't be treating the work like something that you have to do. This is not school, this is not college. You committed, you signed up for this. You've signed up for the lifelong study and commitment to this line of work. So you need to start to develop a healthy relationship with your work. And one of the ways that I found this to be helpful was actually by building a study schedule throughout the week, whereby I knew that there were certain hours in the day that I was just going to be focusing on work, focusing on study, and after that, I would have time to myself in order to enjoy myself. And that basically meant that I wasn't feeling guilty when I was doing the things that I enjoy, like going to the gym, doing the sports, swimming, DJing, everything else. I wasn't feeling guilty about doing that. I actually felt pretty rewarded because I knew how much work I got done throughout the day. And actually it got to a point where, now I actually really look forward to doing my studies because I know that I'm going to be really productive in that period of time. And then I've also got something to look forward to after. Try and build a good relationship with your studies. Get to a point where you're really passionate about the work that you're doing. Feel excited about the topics that you're learning about. And that way you will have much more stamina throughout this course. Now, next on the list is try to take the weekend off. By this, I don't necessarily mean do not work at all on the weekends, because inevitably you will probably be doing a bit of catch up on your weekends. But I think the point that I'm trying to make, especially in your first year, is try to schedule off a day where you can just enjoy yourself, take your mind off studies and just socialize, do the things that you love and not think about work. This is the benefit of the first year of studying medicine, whereby you don't have anywhere near as much to think about as you will in, for example, the clinical years from years 3 to 5. So take advantage of that. And this actually links into the point that I just made about building a healthy relationship with your work. By having a day to yourself, by having time off from the course, it allows you to have a really great balance so that you're not going to feel frustrated at the fact that you've got to work. Don't get into a habit of working around the clock 7 days a week, being unproductive. Try to schedule in productive hours of work throughout the week so that you can take time off. Build that healthy relationship with your work, but also try to take, your Saturday off or your Sunday off, and then you'll have a much healthier relationship with the course. Number 8. Get involved in as many things as you possibly can. And by that, I'm not specifically just referring to things like societies and course-related stuff. The benefit of things being delivered online nowadays is previously whereby you would have had to have traveled around the world potentially or to different parts of the country in order to attend these occasions. They're actually available from the comfort of your own home. So one of the things that I do is I actually follow lots of different societies on social media, but not just from this university, also from different universities. And that has provided me with such insight into the course that I wouldn't have ordinarily have had. And because medicine is such a vast subject, there are so many things that we can do with this degree, it is going to be invaluable for you to gain as much exposure as you possibly can throughout these years. Often, a lot of these webinars that some of the other universities run are actually free for you to attend. Sometimes you might just have to pay for a one-off membership fee, but I personally believe the value that you're going to get from that completely outweighs the cost of the membership. Medicine is one of those degrees that leads to a definitive outcome at the end of it. It's not like most other degrees where at the end of it, you're just in the pool of all the other graduates around the world trying to look for a job in order to build your case and get one, right? It doesn't work like that in medicine. The world is your oyster. You are guaranteed a job at the end of this. But because it is so diverse, it is really, really important that during these 5 years, you expose yourself to as much as you possibly can. Become a sponge, right? Take these opportunities, attend medical conferences, attend webinars, attend seminars and lectures from different surgeons, different physicians, different specialities in medicine in order to develop your interests throughout this course. By doing that, you are just going to be better off. You're not only going to have more knowledge about different things in medicine, but also it's going to really give you a better opportunity to develop your interests and help you decide exactly where you want to go with this incredible degree. Next on the list is discover the city that you live in. I'm well aware that when people study medicine and apply to different universities, the priority on that list is not necessarily the city that you're going to. A lot of people that apply for medicine prioritize places that they are most likely to get into based on the criteria of that university and based on the grades that they have and the CV that they can potentially present to that university. So I totally appreciate that you may end up only getting one offer for med school and ending up going to that university in a city that you don't necessarily like. Whether you like it or not, you're gonna be spending the next 5 years of your life in that city. So it will pay dividends just to make an effort, try and discover the city, try and find things about the city that you love. And by doing that, you're gonna have, a much better time on this course. And honestly, I can tell you, having traveled so much around the world, I've been to some pretty underwhelming places, cities that, pretty dodgy. And look, you will always, if you look, find that diamond in the dirt. So make an effort, try to enjoy the city, because the last thing that you want is to be really enjoying the course, but you just don't like the environment that you're in. That is a really, really unhealthy dynamic. And I really think just by making the effort, try exploring, trying different places, you will find something about the city that you're in that you enjoy. And last of all, enjoy it. But look, when I say that, I don't mean that in the cliche way, like just go and have fun and enjoy the course, right? This is different to school. You're not obliged to go to university. You're obliged to go to school. University is something that you elected for. You decided to commit the next 5 years of your life to studying medicine. You decided to take on that student loan, a lot of debt that ultimately, being doctors at the end of this, you will probably end up having to pay off. So I'm not just saying this in like a get your money's worth kind of thing, but try and make the most of it. Try and make this next 5 years the best 5 years of your life. If you go into that with that kind of mentality, you will be so much better off. I started this course with that mentality. I was so ready for it. I was 26 when I started the course. I've had so much life experience. I know that this is what I wanted to do. And I just went in with that mentality of just wanting to enjoy it. And I feel like I've got so much out of this course so far. And I honestly love it so much. I feel like I'm getting way more than my money's worth. And I just think it's going to be so helpful to you if you share this same kind of, passion and opinion going in with the intention of enjoying it. There you guys have it. That is my top 10 things that I feel like every medical student that has yet to start their course should really be aware of. So look, I really hope this list of 10 things has helped you. I hope it's debunked some of the potential preconceptions that you had prior to watching this video, and I really hope that this is going to help you have a really seamless transition into studying medicine. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the like button down below and consider subscribing if you are new here, and hit the bell notification so you get notified every time I post new videos. Let me know in the comments as well what other kind of videos you would like me to bring to this channel. If you like this video, please let me know. I love reading your comments. But as always, that's it for this one, and I'll see you in the next one.